Hello, welcome to Made to Heal with Angela Brown. So, before I get into my letter I of Homeward Bound to God, I am going to invite you to click on the link in the comments below to my book called You Are Made to Heal Spiritually, Emotionally, Mentally, and Physically. It just talks about my journey of being stuck for 30 plus years, not knowing how to get past anger, childhood trauma, resentment, the negative emotions, not knowing how to process through negative emotions. And when I hit rock bottom in the fall of 2015, I just feel like that's when I finally learned to let go and let God. And I feel like I was guided and directed to techniques and tools that I wasn't aware of. And they are so simple that anyone and everyone can incorporate it into their daily lives and help grow closer to God, closer to themselves and people around. And that is what it's all about. So check it out. This book was written for the intent of all teens and adults. And no matter where you find yourself in your mind frame, I guarantee you'll find some stuff that will help you. I don't have all the answers, of course, but I have enough answers that I was having suicidal thoughts and depression for 30 plus years, and now going on 10 years where I haven't had any of it. That truly is a miracle. Truly is a miracle. And I know if it can happen for me, it can happen for anyone as well. The letter I in Homeward Bound to God is identify the priorities in your life. Identify what they are, and then get to work on weeding out the distractions that come up in your life. If we don't take control of our lives, guess what? Our lives kind of take control of us, and we just kind of feel like we are out of control. It is so important to recognize identify the things that are priority in your life. Well, you know what? I'm going to just name the ones that I've found that have been the biggest priority in my life. Number one, my connection with God. For so long, I did not feel worthy. I didn't feel like I could have a relationship with God. I would always compare myself to someone higher, who was a lot more further than me in life and spiritual wise. And I didn't feel like I was worthy. I didn't think that was possible. I always wondered, like, oh, how do they have that kind of a relationship? I would like that, but I don't know how to have that. I mean, how do you do that? And I didn't realize that I was my own worst enemy. And so that truly identifying that, having that connection with God was super important, because when I learned that God is no respecter of persons and he wants all to come to him. I mean, what parent does not want a child to come for advice and for help and seeking that knowledge? I mean, we praise kids that are wanting to better themselves, and that is how God is with us. He praises us when we come to him. He wants us to come to him, and he wants to show us a better way. He wants to ease our burdens, and his hands are tied. He can't do it unless we submit and surrender and come to him. And I wasn't my own worst enemy, and I got my way, and I didn't choose that. I didn't know how. And when you're not feeling worthy and you're not feeling like, when you feel like that's like an impossible thing to do, then you're getting in your own way. And so it's amazing what can happen when we put that as a priority. And I guarantee you, when you put God as your priority, God in Christ, you will raise out of where you are at, the dark spots, whatever you're in, you will be raised and lifted and be able to overcome and endure. And so then what else has been a priority for me? A priority, identifying that it's important for me to be in touch with my emotions. In my unhealthy years, I suppressed all these emotions, and then boom, I'd go off like a pressure cooker pot. You think of a pressure cooker pot, and it takes so much heat and time, and it just, if you leave it alone and ignore it, it's going to explode. And that's what I did every time. I would just explode, come to the breaking point. And sometimes it didn't take long to build up, because that was my number one ruling emotion. I got through with anger. I was mad at my kids all the time, mad at my husband, mad at the world, mad at this, and mad that I had to deal with this, and poor me, I was the victim. And um, I, as soon as I learned healing and processing through emotions, I have learned to identify that that is a huge priority of mine, is to recognize and own my feelings. Own that I am angry and upset. Own that I feel really hurt and mad about someone, hurting my feelings. Owning the fact that I have compared myself for years on end, and owning the fact that it wasn't fair to me or them to compare myself. Just taking ownership of these emotions. These emotions aren't bad. The negative emotions are there to teach us and show us where we're at in life, and give us some insight on what's going on. And so don't ignore those bad emotions, and don't try to distract yourself with life and other things so that you don't have to face them. Feel the hurt, feel the pain, feel the FOMO, fear of missing out, and learn to replace it with JOMO, the joy of missing out. So many people say, well, this and that's happening in everybody else's lives, but it's not for me, or this is going on, and it's just not fair. And I just, if we can get out of the not being where everybody else is and finding joy in not being where everybody else is, because there are some beautiful things in everyone's situation if we just look for it. And so that has been a priority. So identifying the priorities in your life. Another priority that I have learned has been for me is to change my thinking, to change the sinking thinking that I had for my whole life until 10 plus years ago. I stepped into, oh my goodness, I have control over my thoughts. I can choose. And so it's a priority to clean up what's in here and in here and get them together, working together. It's been a priority for me because I have seen the difference. I have seen that when we clear up the junk in our mind, as a man thinketh, so is he. You are what you think. And so it's so important, if you are not happy with where you are, change your thinking, change the thought processes, and it truly makes a difference. And then physically, identify what is important to you. Physically, is it important to get rid of that pain that you've been suffering with? Or is it important for you to feel better? Maybe you just feel tired all the time, and you just feel cranky, and you just feel blah, or you just feel like you don't have the energy you want to get what you want done. Whatever it is, identify what it is and get to work. We are the only ones that can improve ourselves spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. No one can put in the work for you. I can't do it for you. I can't have somebody else do it for me. And if it's important to you, this healing, then you will take time, I promise. Everybody has the same amount of time. It's not that some people have more time than others. It's we're all busy. Life is scary, Larry, for a lot of us. And it's just important to invest that time in ourselves. And the number one thing is to identify your priorities. Those are my 4 top priorities, because it's a lot of things in a nutshell. And it's important to work in all of these areas simultaneously all the time. Now, we can't do everything all at once, and we can't do everything every day. That's impossible. But having the tools, knowing what to do, and working on things here and there and every day in one of those areas, that is not impossible. I'm telling you, if you really wanted to cram it all in and try to get all of those 4 areas taken care of, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically, honestly, you can do it in 1 hour every day. But I'm a person that I like to stretch it out, right? Because I walk for an hour a day, and that's a blessing to me. So that's just my physical, but it's not just my physical, because I go with a friend, a dear friend that I met not too long ago, and we are able to talk about uplifting things. We're able to lift each other up and encourage and listen to each other, frustrations that come up in life and different things. And so it's kind of a more in one than just the physical. So think about your physical. If you're not getting in physical exercise, think about inviting somebody to join your journey with you and to have that accountability in your life. That's like, hey, yeah, you talked about this, that this was really frustrating in your life. What did you do to handle that? And it is so important to have that accountability, to have somebody in your corner to do that. And so there's a lot of things that we can do. I'm a firm believer that when we start on that healing journey, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically, of course, inviting God in the journey. That is where true and lasting change comes from, is from God and Christ. That is my belief system. And we are here to help each other out. And I just know that when we can identify our priorities, we can recognize the distractions a lot easier. When you're like, this is important to me, this is important to me, this is important to me. And then you kind of see how your day lays out and what's going on your day. You'll easily going, you know what, this is a time waster. This isn't one of my priorities. So you just exit out and remove that. And it is so much easier to recognize those distractions. So God bless you in your journey. And until next time, please like and subscribe to this channel. It is my mission and purpose to help others on their healing journey. And we'll see you next time. Bye.